We are happy to present our final project, Daily Learner, which is carried out by Yuefan Wu and Zixuan. So here's an outline of our presentation. First, I will talk about the motivation of this project. We talk about learning every day, but learning itself can be surprisingly hard. First, it is very difficult to always stay motivated. We cannot get tired, distracted, or simply overwhelmed. Secondly, it's often unclear what we should learn. There are too many possible topics, and choosing one can feel like guesswork. Even when we pick up a topic, we may not know where to find reliable information. And finally, even if we understand the basics, it's still very challenging to know how to go in deeper into the topic. So some prior works have explored intelligent tutoring systems that want to guide users to ask questions and think critically. These systems, such as the Argue Tutor and Socratic chatbots as shown in the image, they mainly focus on writing skills or reading comprehension. However, most of them just operate in a very generic academic context and do not provide domain-specific guidance. They can help users to reason, but not necessarily learn a concrete skill within a meaningful topic area. So we want to build a system that focuses on skill-oriented learning in specific domains, such as finance or psychology, where users often need structured explanations and guided exploration to actually understand the material. There is also a line of work on question generation using large language models. Some systems generate questions, as you can see on the left of the image, based on long passages for reading comprehension, and some others on the right of the image focus on producing scientific-oriented questions. However, these models just offer very limited user autonomy. The questions are generated for the user, but the users cannot freely control the conversation or ask follow-up questions that match their personal curiosity. So we want to build a system that's have the both advantage and solves these issues.
Yeah, so our system consists of three main steps. Step one is topic selection. The users will start by choosing from a curated list of topics, or they can enter their own custom topics if they already have one like in mind. Step two is topic introduction. That the system will generate a concise introduction that help users quickly grab the basics, along with some like follow-up questions. Step three is the custom exploration. Here, users can ask additional questions at the existing one and direct the conversation based on their curiosity. Overall, Daily Learner guides the user from broad topic selection to deeper exploration through a combination of structured prompt and user-driven questioning. When learners face too many possible topics, they often experience decision fatigue. It becomes hard to choose where to start. So in the first stage, topic selection, our system recommends three topics drawn from a diverse database. These topics span areas such as AI, finance, and psychology, giving users a manageable set of meaningful options to begin with. Once a user selects a topic, the system presents a brief and accessible introduction. This helps users quickly understand the core idea without having to search for background information themselves. However, many learners still struggle to go beyond surface level understanding. It can be difficult to know what to ask next or how to extend the topic in a meaningful direction. To support this, our system automatically generates two follow-up questions. These questions may point to real-world application, essay consideration, or some like related concepts. It will help users to continue exploring rather than just getting lost. Users come with very different interests and level of prior knowledge, so a fixed set of suggesting questions is often not that enough. To support this diversity, our system allows users to edit the topic description and customize the follow-up questions. They can adjust the wording of an existing one or write a new one from scratch. This gives learner more agency and ensures that the exploration aligns with their personal goal and curiosity. Here's a short demo of our system. We built both a PC version and a mobile version, so like users can access Daily Learner in different contexts, whether they are studying at their desk or exploring topics on the go. See here, we are just trying to modify the topics ourselves with some, say, custom like preference, and now it's generating through the ChatGPT or like large language model, and follow the introduction. There's two questions, and we can add it, or say just keep it as it is. For each round of this, like say conversation, that it will also have an answer that based on what we ask, and also some extension or follow-up questions. Yeah. So apart from the PC version, we also have a very simple, very similar, say, mobile version that serves the similar, say, operation, like having generation, like also the introduction and some like follow-up questions. Here's a quick demo for the mobile version. Once we won't deep into it. So
Yes, so for the evaluation of a project, we invited 4 participants to take part in a 2-part user study. The first part is a short questionnaire with 7 Likert scale items evaluating their overall experience with the system. We ask about whether they feel engaged, whether the system is motivating them to ask follow-up questions, how easy the topic introduction was to understand, whether they feel control in their learning process, and whether the UI is easy to follow. Overall, participants responded positively to the system. All of them report feeling engaged while using the daily learner, and they find the interface easy to follow. They also mainly agree that the topic introduction was clear and the system supported their learning goals. However, the rating suggests that there are still rooms for improvement, especially in supporting stronger user autonomy and generating more motivating follow-up questions. In the second part of the study, we evaluate the learning outcomes using a short recall test. After completing the exploration session, participants answer 5 multiple choice questions covering 3 topics they have just learned. The goal was simply to check whether they can retain the key ideas from the introduction and the follow-up questions. Overall, participants performed very well on the recall test, achieving over 75% correctness on average. Considering that the questions were not very easy, this suggests the users were able to retain key ideas from the introduction and the follow-up questions from daily learner.
So although daily learner provide a promising way to explore new topics, it also has several limitations. First, the system lack some like long-term memory. Right now, it only keeps information within a single conversation. But for long-term learning or habit formulation, the system would ideally track progress and adapt over time. Second, our strategy for topic recommendation and follow-up question generation is still relatively naive. Even though it improves the user's experience, it does not fully personalize based on the learner's history or profile. Finally, our evaluation was short-term. We mainly examined immediate perception and recall, but did not conduct a longitudinal study, so we cannot yet understand how the system will affect learning habits or sustain engagement over time. For future work, we see several promising directions building on our current system. First, personalization can be improved by incorporating a lightweight knowledge graph. The system will recommend topics that better balance novelty and relevance for each learner, rather than just relying on some simple random sampling. Second, establishing long-term memory opens the door to more precise follow-up questions. If the system can track users' progress over time, it could automatically generate questions that diagnose the individual knowledge gaps and adapt to their learning trajectory. Finally, inspired by the From Gap to Century framework, we believe it will be valuable to incorporate contextual information. Tailoring prompts based on the user's environment or tasks may help the system surface the most timely and meaningful information at each moment.